Right.
You know,
Right.
That's
you
the
know.
reason, that's the reason we're saying early on, we would spend this spring, this summer, going through, identifying what it is that needs to be put in. I think that's going to take some time because there would be, as I can see it, changes made to the existing configuration. So there'll be it definitely does slow down the process to get a lot of input and figure out who wants to do what, and then price it out, and then come back and then say, well, it could easily exceed $1 million, you know, depending on what it is that you want to do, and then come back and forth. So I don't want to minimize that, but you know, we built that in, and then at some point we'd have plans and specs, the electrical, the plumbing, go out to bid, which takes a month or two, and then get procuring materials, which have lead times. So I'm not so sure that it could even be done this year, although we're going to work on it as hard as we can.
I think you're missing my point. My point is, yeah, I understand it's going to take a whole season to get your plans in place.
Right.
My whole thing is, say if it takes all of this year, let's not start it next May. See if you can start it next September. In other words, you don't want to start it. In other words, there may be an option here where you don't have to take it out for the whole year, that you can do it when you're closed.
Right,
and that's my whole point.
It's a year-long job, but those portions of the job that close the pool could be done outside the season, or at least, if worst came to worst, if it bled into the season on either end, at least you'd have some use.
That's the aim. That's the aim. But even at this point, to tell you what the construction of the pool should be, maybe it should be steel with a vinyl liner, which is easier to put in off-season as opposed to concrete. Now you're more at the mercy of the weather. So all of these are questions that need to get fleshed out before we can give you.
No, I understand.
So that's all it's paramount. I don't mean to.
No, I understand. I understand. All I'm saying is, once we know all of that information, the scheduling should be done such that it can be done when the pool is not there. If it can be done.
And we've done jobs like that where, for a premium, you make them work 6 days a week instead of 5. You make them work, you know, so you can shorten the window, and then you're not at risk as much for, you know, with impending cold weather and so forth. So all of these are in the mix. We do things like that all the time.
There's probably a lot of pool activity going on right now, okay? So, you know, we ought to take advantage of the construction opportunity that is out here also. I don't want to say, you know, as we go through all this process. But no, these pools have to be worked on.
Sure.
They're in terrible shape.
And I think Commissioner's point is well taken. Once you start doing all this work and we hear how much it costs to even prepare the study, then the incremental cost of making it a more serviceable and pleasant experience for the people who use it is definitely worth considering. Water features for kids, wider decks,
You might want a mushroom or
that type, all that, which isn't, I think, in the scheme of the whole project, probably adds very little.
Right.
So, but in terms of the enjoyment of the residents, it'll add a substantial amount.
Yeah, and that's the aim.
Yep. Okay.
It's not an in-kind replacement. I don't see that.
No.
No, I don't think any of us are looking for that.
I don't want to spend all that money and wait for that same setup.
Absolutely.
You know? Okay.
All right, okay. The next item is fairly simple.